Most men go through their entire lives completely blind. They think they understand the world. They think they know how power works, how people work, how the game is played. They don't. They operate on what they were told by parents, teachers, society, and they accept it as truth without ever questioning it. And because of that blindness, they lose over and over again. They get passed over for promotions they deserved. They give their loyalty to people who were never loyal back. They trust the wrong people. They speak at the wrong moments. They stay quiet when they should have acted. They act when they should have been silent. What I'm about to share with you is not what they teach you in school. It's not motivational fluff. It's not just be yourself or work hard and good things will happen. This is Machiavellian intelligence, the oldest, most ruthlessly effective mental operating system ever devised. The same principles that princes, conquerors, statesmen, and CEOs have used for centuries to dominate every room they walk into. Absorb what I'm about to tell you, and you will never see the world the same way again. Is whether you're playing it or being played. Section 3, Lesson 1. People are not what they appear. Eye contact. Deliberate silence before speaking. The second principle. In a world where people judge by appearances, you must become the author of your own appearance. Machiavelli wrote, "It is not necessary for a prince to have all the good qualities I have enumerated, but it is very necessary that he should appear to have them." This is one of the most misunderstood passages in the entire book. People think it is advice to be fake. It is not. It is advice to be intentional. Every day, you are broadcasting signals about who you are. Your posture broadcasts confidence or weakness. Your punctuality broadcasts respect or disrespect. Your silence in a meeting broadcasts authority or fear. Your word choice, your clothing, your composure under pressure, all of it is language. All of it is being read. The man who doesn't manage his image doesn't escape it. He simply lets others define it for him. And other people will not be generous. Here's the practical application. Ask yourself right now, what do people feel in the first 30 seconds of meeting me? What word would my colleagues use to describe me behind my back? What do I project? Certainty or anxiety? Presence or background noise? Then, and this is the Machiavellian move, close the gap between where you are and where you want to be perceived, not by pretending, by actually building the qualities, then making sure they are visible. The brilliant man who looks like a fool will be treated like a fool. The capable man who projects capability will be treated as capable. Reality matters, but perceived reality matters more in the short term, and the short term is where opportunities are won and lost. Section 5, Lesson 3. Speak less, command more. The man who speaks least in the room is usually the most powerful man in the room. We are conditioned by school, by social anxiety, by insecurity to fill silence, to explain ourselves, to justify, to overqualify, to ramble. Every unnecessary word you speak does one or more of three things. It dilutes your authority, it reveals your position, or it gives others ammunition. Machiavelli understood that information is power. When you talk too much, you are transferring power to everyone listening. You tell them where you stand, what you fear, what you want, what you don't know. You hand them the map to your vulnerabilities. The Machiavellian alternative: speak with precision and intention. Say what needs to be said. No more than stop. Sit in the silence that follows. Let others rush to fill it. The man who can sit in silence comfortably is perceived as one of three things: highly intelligent, highly confident, or both. All three serve you. Practical drill. This week, in every conversation, cut your word count in half. Say your point once, cleanly. Stop. Observe how people respond differently. You will be surprised how much more weight your words carry when there are fewer of them. And when asked a question you don't want to fully answer, Machiavelli's prince redirects. He answers a different, better question. He shifts the frame. He says, the more important question is, and takes control of the conversation. Words are weapons. The most dangerous warrior is the one who uses them sparingly. Section 6, Lesson 4. Never fully rely on anyone. Machiavelli's fourth lesson is perhaps the most universally applicable and the one most people emotionally resist. Never fully rely on any single person, institution, or ally. Not completely. Not forever. He observed repeatedly that the prince who made himself entirely dependent on mercenaries, on allies, on advisors, always fell. Because dependency creates a leverage point, and leverage is always, eventually, exploited. This is not a call to become cold, isolated, or paranoid. You need people. Alliances are essential. Loyalty is valuable. But there is a critical difference between strategic partnership and blind dependency. The Machiavellian man maintains optionality. He cultivates multiple alliances rather than one. He never puts all his loyalty, all his income, all his information into one basket. He builds redundancy into his life. In practical terms, if your entire income comes from one employer, you are vulnerable. If your entire social world revolves around one friend group, you are vulnerable. If your only mentor is one person, you are vulnerable. Not because these people will necessarily betray you, but because life is unpredictable, and the man with options is the man who cannot be controlled. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." This quote is almost always misunderstood. He was not saying be cruel. He was saying, do not engineer your life such that others can withdraw love to control you. Be valuable enough, independent enough, that no single person's approval or disapproval determines your fate. Maintain your independence. Keep your options alive. Owe no one a debt you cannot repay. This is how you remain free. Section 7, Lesson 5. Choose your battles with ruthless precision. Section 8, Lesson 6. Master the long game. Section 9, The close. Let me bring this home. Machiavellian intelligence is not about being evil. It is not about manipulation. For its own sake, it is not about stepping on people. It is about seeing clearly. In a world full of people operating on illusions. Illusions about how power works. Illusions about what people actually want. Illusions about what creates success. The man who sees clearly has an extraordinary advantage. The 6 principles we covered today. 1. See past the mask. Judge people by their actions and incentives, not their words. 2. Author your own image. Project who you are intentionally, not accidentally. 3. Speak less. Every word you remove adds weight to the ones that remain. 4. Maintain independence. Never let any single person or system hold your fate. 5. Choose your battles with precision. Refuse to be dragged into wars that don't serve you. 6. Play the long game. Build, invest, and think in years, not moments. These are not tricks. They are not shortcuts. They are a way of operating. A mental framework that, once installed, upgrades how you see every situation, every relationship, every challenge. Most men will never learn this. They will live their entire lives reacting to what happens to them, wondering why the world doesn't reward them the way they feel they deserve. You now have the map. What you do with it is entirely up to you. If this video gave you one thing to think about, drop it in the comments below. And if you want to go deeper, we have an entire series on strategic thinking.